Okay, so in this particular video, what I want to go over, of course, are there's a line in the so-called Bible, what we've been taught to call the Bible, where it deals with how there will be 5 in a house, and then there will be 2 against 3, and then there will be 3 against 2, and they will stand at a solitary type of thing. So in this particular video, we're going to discuss that, because in some emotional refreshment camp systems and everything like that, they deal with the 5 in a house having something to do with actual people. But what we're going to find out in this particular video, that it's actually talking about that which is within you. Keep watching. Okay, thank you for tuning in. All right, so if you're new to my channel, of course, what I like to go over is esoteric and exoteric information in retrospect to how it influences cultures and everything like that. And we want to deal with that which is within you, because it says the kingdom is within you and it is on the outside of you. He who knows himself knows that he is the son of the living Father. But if you do not know yourself, you dwell in poverty, and it is you who are that poverty. So that's the reason why in these particular videos, we want to try to fix that which is within you, to get you on the path of attainment for yourself and your family and your friends, or those who you think that are your family. All right. So in this particular video, we're going to deal with the 5 in a house. So the 5 in a house, of course, is referenced in the book of Matthew and everything. It's also actually referenced in the Pistis Sophia. So I want to have a dialogue with you about that in this particular vlog. So basically what we're dealing with, the 5 in a house, here are the 5 in a house, okay? The 5 in a house are going to be the counterfeit spirit, all right? You're going to have the counterfeit spirit, you're going to have power, all right? You're going to have the body, all right? You're going to have the soul, of course, and then you're going to have what's called destiny. Now, these are the 5 that dwell in a house. Okay, and the house is you, the particular body, the particular mortal body of sin or mortal body of flesh, however you want to identify that and everything. Some people call it a container and so forth. So while you're in this particular vessel, what's key for you to realize is that there's a war that's going on. There's a war that's going on, and you have 2 against 3 and you have 3 against 2. So let's deal with that. So basically what ends up happening, of course, is whenever you come into this existence and you come through the vessel and so forth, you come through another vessel. Some people identify it as a birth canal. Some people identify it as a C-section, depending on if the doctor has to cut the so-called woman and deliver the shipment or the child via a C-section, or it has to, the woman has to lay on her back like this, of course, and then the shipment has to come out of the canal, and then it approaches the dock. Okay, so these terminologies are very important. I'm gonna link some resources for you, like admiralty and maritime law. That's something that you can actually seek out that resource for yourself, of course. But there's a reason why we use these type of terminology, because what they're basically saying to you is that you're lost at sea. Okay, and if you're lost at sea, that means that somebody else can come in and claim your estate. Okay, that's for another video. But in this particular video, so then you come into this existence, right? You come into this existence, and then you get the traditions of men. All right, you of course are maybe in a daycare. Maybe you're given some type of formula. Maybe you're not even taken from the breast, so to speak. You're getting that which is on the shelf that somebody else has designed for you, because they know that in order to sustain their rule, they have to suppress you in such a way. So then maybe you're taking the Similac or whatever the case may be. So then you're nurtured up into a system, and then that system basically talks to you about tooth fairies. It deals with Santa Claus. It deals with Superman, Batman, Catwoman, all this other kind of stuff, Wonder Woman. It deals with all these various different types of things, and there's been studies that have been done, black doll, white doll test, and you're brought up into a crayon box society where they want you to focus on that which is on the outside, and I'll identify that as external. So as you come up into this system, of course, then you're indoctrinated even more. So maybe you're brought into a religion, okay? And that religion, of course, has its laws and things that it goes by. Maybe you have to wear one peg's leg up and everything like that, or one peg's leg down and everything. So it's an emotional refreshment system because it's not identifying or dealing with that which is within you. So then as you come up through that, of course, then it kind of conditions you to say, okay, well, I'm going to school. Then you have the K through 12 scenario. Then you have the college syndrome. And anytime someone is looking to educate you, that is basically training. They're not trying to get you on a path of dedication, because dedication is to basically have you seeking that which is divine to get you to the higher regions of righteousness. But to educate someone based on an 1828 Noah Webster's dictionary, you're basically training an individual, training them to do what? To fit a slot in someone else's economy. Okay, so now you're brought up into that system. Do you get what I'm saying? Now you're like, okay, well, we're doing that. Now maybe I want to date. Maybe I got to go and find a male or a female and all that. Now, on this channel, we don't encourage males to lay down with males the way that males lay down with women and everything like that, or vice versa. But maybe you're looking for a relationship, and then you go through that. And then you're like, okay, well, now that I have that, I got my degree or my receipt. And now, because you're on the path of the American dream or the African dream or the Japan dream or wherever you're located. And then you're like, okay, now I got to get a house. You get what I'm saying? And now, they lock you up for 30 years for that one. That's called a mortgage. You see what I'm saying? So then you're in that. And then you're like, okay, well, now it's time to have children. Then we do now we got to save for the child. It's 401k, it's college funds. Do you see where I'm going? So where I'm going with this, of course, is you have 5 in a house. You have 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. So the civilization of deception, what they typically work for and toward are the 3. And the 3 that are against the 2 is quite simple. It's not that hard to understand. So the 3 is this. It's the counterfeit spirit that's working with destiny, that's working with the body, and it's against the soul and power. So you have the soul and power, and you have the other 3, and these are battling against each other. Do you get what I'm saying? So the counterfeit spirit. So this is how I want you to look at this. So for example, say up here, okay, the highest versions of you, if you give birth to that. Say up here, you have a seat, and in that seat, of course, it's vacant. And somebody else is able to come in and put a counterfeit spirit inside of that seat, and it's driving you. You get what I'm saying? So let's say that the driving forces are the horses that's moving you. And then let's say that those horses are senses, for example. Let's say it deals with what tastes good, what sounds good, what smells good, what feels good. You get what I'm saying? The senses. So let's say that the horses are the senses, and whatever is sitting in the seat, and then we have the driving force, which is destiny, if the counterfeit spirit is sitting in that seat. And that's the issue that we have that's plaguing us today, is the seat is vacant because the temple is defiled, because you have broken your consciousness off to different ideas that give credit to that which is unreal, if you get what I'm saying. So if you give credit to that which is unreal, then the seat becomes vacant, and the higher forces, the power leaves you, and the seat is empty. So now someone else can come in and sit in that seat and drive you by controlling your senses. You get what I'm saying? So if I come to you and I say, hey, this is clean, that is unclean, that is unclean, but you're like, well, it tastes good, or it feels good, or it looks good, then that means that the counterfeit spirit can't hear me, if that makes sense. So you got 3 against 2, and you got 2 against 3. All right. So what I want to show you, of course, in this particular video, of course, is how to remove the counterfeit spirit out of the seat, how to talk to your people that you communicate any type of light to show them this video, or to interpret this language to them. Hopefully they have eyes to see, because it says, where fall the footsteps of the master? The ears of those ready for his teachings open wide. All right. So if someone can't hear you, then you dust your feet off. Obviously, you move on. But what we're dealing with is we're trying to remove the counterfeit spirit out of the seat. You get what I'm saying? So now that the counterfeit spirit is out of the seat, of course, then we can take hold right, of those senses, and then we can what? Transmute them. It's the alchemical process that has to take place within you. Then we can transmute them, and now that we've conquered them, how do you conquer that? After you remove the counterfeit spirit, by what? Bethinking yourselves. I think it mentions that in the book of Kings. When you bethink yourself in the land of your captivity, right? So then you bethink yourself and you follow those instructions, and then you say, okay, I need to tame the animal. I need to tame the lower self, and that's the senses, because the animal only cares about what tastes good, feels good, sounds good, all that kind of stuff. So you have to tame that, okay, by being obedient to a set of instructions, right? And you can find those instructions in the first 5 books. So now that you've tamed the lower self, and you're not placating, because if you have somebody who is looking down, they need to be able to identify those who are just playing around. You get what I'm saying? Or those who are actually serious, seeking this thing in what? Spirit and in truth. And then once we're able to identify that, of course, then we can loose the bonds that are holding you. And then someone else, like what? Intelligence can be the driver. Do you get what I'm saying? Of that instrument. So that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to move things from the lower self. So when it says, hey, there are 5 in a house, there will be 3 against 2, and there will be 2 against 3, right? Father against son, son against father. Do you get what I'm saying? So, and they will stand what? As a solitary. Do you get what I'm saying? Blessed are the solitaries and the elect is what we're really dealing with. So what we have to do, of course, is we have to take this whole message and we have to start it from within us. Stop looking outside of you. He who knows himself knows that he is a what? Son of the living Father. But if you do not know yourself, you dwell in poverty, which means that you are the passenger and the counterfeit spirit is the driver, right? The driving instrument is what? Destiny. And the horses are the senses. So then when you're locked into that type of system, this is how you can have a sickness that can't be cured, because now destiny has to take hold of you. And you see that they're always trying to promote destiny to you on an everyday basis. Just look around. You can see it. They're doing it all the time. Look at the commercials that they promulgate. When you're traveling, look at the billboards that they push. Look at all of this stuff. Look at the swine. They're trying to project their destiny that they have for you, because if you don't know, then that means that you're destined to do what? Repeat what the ignorant do. So in this particular video, we want to remove the sickness of ignorance and forgetfulness, and we want to remove the power that they think that they have, because you're the ones that are giving them the power by being oblivious to the information that I'm telling you today. The information. And I'm going to leave all the resources underneath the like button, in the description area and everything like that, so you can seek out this material for yourself and understand what it actually means when it says there will be 5 in a house. The house is you. There will be 3 against 2, and there will be 2 against 3, and they will both stand at a solitary. All right. So now you have the interpretation of that saying. If you have any questions or comments about this video or anything like that, leave it in the description area underneath the like button, and I'll be happy to deal with that. I want to actually read a couple of comments here. I want to start doing this here because I want to start sharing the feedback that others have and encourage others to also do the same thing. So hopefully this might work. So just give me 1 second. Let me pull this up. All right, so we have published. I responded. Let's get this loaded. All right, so we have Sakowajewaya, I believe. This is what they said. It said, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but this is what they said. They said, I also research from an esoteric and exoteric perspective. I no longer say I think. I let the precepts upon precepts speak. I will be up all night with my research tools, listening to what is being revealed to me. I often go back, reread what I'm saying or studying over and over with new highlights constantly emerging. Thank you for the information. I will be looking forward this journey with you and the community. Thank you. And I do appreciate that feedback. And so then we also have Check the Facts here. And his question was, do you have an email where people can contact you? And I'll put that email up on the screen for you all if y'all are interested, of course, in reaching out or anything like that and sharing any information. All right, we have someone else here. We have Azaraya Yashara'al. It says, Shalom, brother. Praise Abba. Very insightful lesson. Which Bible is the closest to the original scripture? So what I would suggest, I think he's referring to like in the divine instructions, I believe in Deuteronomy 4 line 2, it talks about how you shouldn't change the word. So then the closest version that we have access to, I would recommend, would be the Septuagint. And then there's a version of the Septuagint, because it was in Greek, that will have the English side by side and everything. And I'll leave that in the description area underneath the like button and everything like that. So I want to thank you all. If I didn't read your comments, that doesn't mean I'm not going to get to them in another video. But I want to thank you all for supporting this channel. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and everything and sharing this with someone so this message can continually get out, because it says in the last days, knowledge would be increased. And it says that this word, this gnosis, has to be taken to the four corners of the earth. So then we ask ourselves, there has to be something wrong with what they've been doing, because a lot of their messages has been taught for hundreds of years and people know it on the four corners of the earth. So obviously we're looking for something new. We need a new set of ideas, and that's what we're doing on this channel. All right. So I consider connecting with us and everything like that, and I'll see you in the next video.